This is my glider model. It ranges from 11 foot to however long we're going to do them. This one's 11 foot 6, the one here is 12 foot. Now a couple of the features you can see here, it's got the 3 layers. So it's got the one full layer and the second layer between here and up there, and then the third layer. This is trying to keep the maximum strength in the middle, top and bottom, to try and stop the board from breaking if it ends up in the wrong part of a wave and there's a lot of stress in the middle of the board being so long. As well as that, it's got the 1 inch stringer in the center, tapered down each end to 1/2 inch. So again, it's putting all the strength in the middle of the board and not as much as it's going towards the end where it doesn't need as much. You can see here the foil. I've done a nice refined foil, nose and tail, and as well as that, with the outline, all these gliders are pretty similar. They normally have rounded pins. I've just tried to keep the curve here like I would do it on a high performance 9-1, but stretched out. I try to keep that nice even curve there because the board turns off its rail and that's what makes it work. Now I'll just hop over to this one here and we'll look at the bottom shape. Now they just have a slight V in the nose right at the tip. Okay, halfway down between the nose and the center, it's more of a roll. So this part of the rail here is really forgiving, which you want. In the center, the slight V starts, so it's got about a 1/4 inch V in the middle. And then here, between the middle and the tail, is the double concave with about 3/8 of an inch V. Okay, so you want this board to be able to get on its rail and do a nice turn. And as we go through the tail, the V starts to fade out until we get to the back and it's just flat. So it has this double concave through here and nice easy way of getting it on its rail. We're using the 2+1. I feel that setup's going to be the most dynamic for this to still allow it to turn. We're using a 12-inch box, so if people want to use a bigger fin, which I don't think will work as well, because they have to turn. There's no worries about drive of these because they're so long, so you've got to have a fin system that'll turn. Now I'll just flip it over to show the deck. Now what it has here is a texture deck. What that means is I've just put a really thin layer of resin over the laminated surface. Up to here it's been filicated normally and sanded. So basically I've probably knocked about, without doing the finish coats as well, probably about 1,200 grams or 1.2 kilos. So the finished weight is around the 11.5 kilo mark to 11.8. And if I would have added all that extra resin, I'd rather have taken that resin out of the filler coat and finish coat and put it in this extra piece in the middle. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm trying to keep these hopefully in one piece opposed to one without that center patch and in 2 pieces, because there's a lot of stress on these boards. You think it's 12 foot long, that's why it's got the 1 inch stringer here, and where it doesn't need as much to hold the strength, 1/2 inch up the nose. Now these will be getting tested out in about 2 days. Now Simon, that's riding the red one, he's got a full quiver of gliders, so I'll have feedback on Instagram and Facebook on how these go. So at the moment, Simon's really excited about how they look. There's been a lot of effort put into the rail shape. These just feel like normal rails you put on a high performance longboard to a point. They're a nice rail, come down, soft edge. They just feel really good. Especially this part of the board here where it turns off the tail. I've got a pretty good feeling about how this board will work. Same with the continuous curve that goes through it all the way. So that's about all I can say about that. As I said, the main thing we were trying to do with this one was the strength. So we're not doing them in a finish coat or a polish. I'm keeping them as a sanded finish to get that extra weight out of the filler coat and put it in these center pieces. So yeah, so this one is the glider.